गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्मा गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। यस्यान्तन्नादिमध्यं न हि करचरणं नामगोत्रं न सूत्रं नो जातिर्नैव वर्णा न भवति पुरुषो नानपुंसं न च स्त्री नाकारं नो विकारं न हि जनिमरणं नास्ति पुण्यं न पापं तत्त्वं नो तत्त्वमेकं सहजसमरसं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। मौनव्याख्या प्रकटितपरब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानं वर्षिष्ठान्ते वसदृषिगणैरावृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपं स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय यतये शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादिनगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। अपारसच्चित्सुखवारिराशेः यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि। देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः। कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनां सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं। हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रं ह्यहमहमिति साक्षात् आत्मरूपेण भाति। हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वतामुज्जतावां पवनचलनरोधाद् आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वं चूडोत्तंसितचन्द्रचारुकलिकां चञ्जत्शिखाभास्वरो लीलादग्धविलोलकामशलभश्रेयो दशाग्रे स्फुरन् अन्तःस्फूर्जदपारमोहतिमिर प्राग्भारमुच्चाडयन् चेतः सद्मनियोगिनां विजयते ज्ञानप्रदीपो हरः आवेदकालाद्धरणीं पुनन्तीम् आसिन्धुदेशं परिपावयन्तीम् आम्नायमर्थं हृदि बोधयन्ती आजन्मपूता चरतीह गङ्गां निरन्तरानन्दरसार्द्रनीरां निस्सङ्गयोगीशनिवासतीरां सत्सङ्गसौरभ्यगिराभिपूतां विज्ञानधारां हृदि भाति गङ्गां भागीरथित्वं नयनाभिरामां महर्षिलोकस्य तपोपलब्धां मदीयमोहं कृपया निवार्य त्वदीयरूपे रतिम् आतनुष्व त्वदीयनीरे भवपाशदूरे यमादियोगे निजबोधचारे संसारतारे शिवभक्तिपूरे हिमाद्रिसारे रमतां मनो मे भवाब्धितारे भवतीयतो ये सुधाब्धियाने सुखचित्प्रयाणे नताप्तभाग्ये नरलोकभोग्ये सुधाप्रवाहे रमतां मनो मे तपः प्रभावे तरुणेन्दुभासे स्वतः प्रकाशे सुरलोकरासे भुवि प्रकाशे हिमभूविभासे श्रुतिप्रकाशे रमतां मनो मे महर्षिसेव्ये परमेशसेव्ये महेन्द्रसेव्ये मनुजैर्निषेव्ये मृगादिसेव्ये जलजन्तुसेव्ये द्विजादिसेव्ये रमतां मनो मे श्रुतिप्रसिद्धे धरणीशलब्धे प्रतीचिसिद्धे बहिरङ्गलुब्धे विचारसिद्धे विमलाद्रिसिद्धे विशुद्धनीरे रमतां मनो मे प्रपञ्चरङ्गे शिवमौलिरङ्गे सतां प्रसङ्गे श्रुतिवाक्यरङ्गे नतार्तिभङ्गे हृदिचित्तरङ्गे मदन्तरङ्गे वसदेवि गङ्गे यामेव नित्यं श्रुतयो यमिनोऽभियन्ति यामेव नित्यं श्रुतयो गृह्णन्ति यामेव नित्यं विबुधा स्तुवन्ति तामेव गङ्गां वयमाश्रयामः भक्तिं प्रयच्छ जगदीश्वरि देवि गङ्गे ज्ञानं च स्वात्मविषयं शिवमौलिवासे देहे च बुद्धिमपहाय ऋषीन्द्रजाते बोधं विरागसहितं दृढमातनुष्व शिवानुभव. That is the caption in which we are having our satsang. Yesterday, we just gave an introduction about the experience of Shiva. Shankaracharya says in his Vivekachudamani, Shavakaram yavad bhajati manujaha tavad ashuchihi. As long as one worships this Shavakara, this body is Shava, Tavad Ashuchihi. As long as he is worshipping only the body, he is Ashuchi. When he starts worshipping the Shivakara, the Shiva who is manifest, who is shining forth within as our own inner self, Chidvastu, then he becomes Shuddha, pure. And that Shivajnana, when we speak about Sivanubhava, we say Shivajnana. When we speak Vedanta, we say it is Atmajnana. When we speak on Bhagavatam, we say it is Hari Bhakti. Because Bhakti is also nothing but Jnana. It's mysteriously, these devotees, they use it synonymous, as a synonymous thing. Manikawaka, in his most celebrated work, Tiruvachakam, that is a beautiful book in Tamil. And that book, Tiruvachakam, in Tamil there is a saying that a person who do not melt by hearing Tiruvachakam will not melt by listening anything else. Tiruvachagattukku urugadar, uruvachagattukkum urugar. That is the saying. And the greatness of Tiruvachakam is Shiva himself wrote it. Although those songs were sung by this saint Manikawaka, it is Shiva who wrote it. The story is very beautiful. When during the period of Pandya in Madurai, Arimardana Pandya, that was the name of the king. While he was ruling, this Manikawaka, his name was Brahmaraya. He was the minister of the king, very scholarly person. Inwardly, he was a sadhaka, a very intense sadhaka. And sadhana, in its essentially what it is an yearning. You are caught in your prarabdha, but inwardly the heart is longing to attain the Lord, longing to attain that highest spiritual experience. That thirst is there. Ajata paksha iva mataram khagaha. That is the example which Bhagavatam gives. The simile is that small birdlings, when they come out of the egg, now the wings have not formed. They will be looking at the mother bird. When the mother bird goes in search of food, these children will be looking at the mother bird with so much longing, but it cannot fly because no wings. There are no wings. Like that, the seeker, when he looks at a spiritual being who has found the truth, inwardly, as we said yesterday, he recognizes, because he is a mature seeker, he recognizes. But to abide in that state, this Viveka and Vairagya are the wings. Vairagya bodhau purushasya pakshivat pakshau vijanihi vijakshanastvam, says Shankaracharya. That Vairagya and Viveka are not there. So simply that longing remains, and it invites the Lord. That longing invokes the Lord. Shankaracharya in one of his Upanishad Bhashya, Yame Vaisha Vrunute Tena Labhyaha Tasyaisha Atma Vivrunute Tanum Swam. That mantra Bhashya, Bhagavad Pada says, there is only one sadhana, that is Atma Darshana Prarthana. Inwardly, this sadhaka is choosing Atman, Ishvara. And once this sadhaka chooses, then Atman also chooses. Then later on this sadhaka will realize, because of the grace of the Atman only, he was able to choose the Atman. He was able to choose the spiritual path. But that is after that. But in the beginning, there comes this choice. I want only this. I don't want anything else. So, that Atma Darshana Prarthana was there in this Brahmaraya, this minister. But his prarabdha was, he was bound as the minister of the king. He was working there. One day this king called him. Every day he was praying, Lord, when will I get released from this bondage? When will you come and initiate me? Give me that spiritual experience, that Sivanubhavam. One day this Arimardana Pandya called him and said, go to the seashore. There are good horses. Arabian horses have come. Go, take as much as money you want. Go and purchase them. So, money was given. He took the money and was going. That is the story which I yesterday just gave you one portion of that story. On a village, he was taking rest. There, those village people said, here is a Mahatma in our village. Go and meet him. And this Manikawaka goes there, looks from a distance, and is seeing a Siddha Purusha sitting under a tree, Kurundamarat. He also calls Shiva there as Kurundamarattu Gurumani. So that as Guru is sitting there, and the first thing that he saw was his feet. In that Shiva tradition, Shaivite tradition, they say, Shiva never took avatara. So his feet never touched the earth. But here, Manikawaka says, Nilam tan mel vandu neel kalalgal kaati. He came to the earth for my sake and revealed his feet. Veda also gives so much importance to the Lord's feet. Charanam pavitram vitatam puranam ena putastarati dushkritani tena pavitrena vishuddena putaha atipapmanam tarayama. We will just cross all the sins by having contact with that charanam pavitram vitatam puranam, that all-pervading charanam of the Lord. So he saw Lord there, Lord initiated him, he wanted to spend his time with that Shiva Guru. Next day the Guru was not there, along with all his disciples he disappeared. See, when you get a glimpse of the divine, and then you are left in the world, then only you know what this longing means. So in his Tiruvachakam, he says, Lord, you left me alone here. Did you want, what was the purpose for leaving me here? Is it to give a sample to the world what is falsehood? To keep the seed of mithya, falsehood here. I am a useless fellow. My bhakti is also false. My heart is also false. My sadhana is also mithya. So you have left me here. So much of longing is there in Tiruvachakam. He became God mad. The divine element entered into him. With all the money that he brought for buying horses, he forgot about that business and built a big temple. You can see that temple even now. All those who came with him, they advised, don't do this. This is government money. You cannot build a temple with this. So they went back and reported to the king. King asked his soldiers, arrest him and bring him here. That is, the story goes like that. Later on, he was tortured so much pain was given to him, and Lord appeared with so many horses, beautiful horses. As a very handsome person, he came on a Paurnami day and gave the horses to the king Arimardana and said, release Manikawaka. You wanted the horses, I have brought. And the horses were so beautiful, but the beauty is, this king got inundated by seeing the horseman, the person who brought the horses. He wanted to give some gift to him. So he gave him a shawl. And that horseman had a stick in his hand. He took that with his stick and put it in his shoulder. And that charismatic thing that which the Lord did, sitting on his horse, just the king became inundated by that. There is continuation for the story, but I am not going to the story now. So this portion of story, after this, some more problems came in Manikawaka's life, then he was released. He moved about as a sannyasi, singing about Shiva. That is this Tiruvachakam. From place to place he was moving, singing about the Lord. And Lord said, now you come to Chidambaram. Thus, he arrived at Chidambaram, but there was no order to enter the temple. So he did not go inside. He stayed in a place, a small jungle. That place is called Chirabdi. Near that, there is a small jungle. There he stayed and he was singing, spending his time in that Shiva Samadhi, Sivanubhavam. And one day, Lord arrived. If you go to Chidambaram, please visit that place where Manikawaka stayed. Because there was, even now when we went there, is a pujari, who is not a Brahmin, very devoted. With tears in his eyes, he narrated all these stories to us. I have heard these stories from Kanakamma, Maharshi's direct disciple. But he was a simple person, he was a pujari there. He narrated all these stories. There you can see a Shila, a Vigraha of Manikawaka, showing that pujari said, Lord appeared in this form here. Thrice he visited this place. So, first time, he came as a Jatadhari, as an old person, and said to Manikawaka, I heard that you have sung many poems. Please sing for me. Manikawaka said, I did not collect all my poems. I just sang and forgot. It is not for storing or showing others. I just sang whatever came from my heart, I was singing. Now I have forgotten. No, you sing. Whatever you remember, you sing, I will write. So this person sat before Manikawaka and started writing. He was chanting Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. With that Panchakshara itself, see, this Tiruvachakam begins with Namah Shivaya. No other work begins with Panchakshara. Usually, see, some rare works will begin with Om. But this Tiruvachakam, it begins with Namah Shivaya. So here, Manikawaka begins it with Namah Shivaya Varga, Nathantal Varga, Imai Purudum Yennenjil Ningadan Tal Varga. The first three things First thing that he says, victory be to Namah Shivaya. Not to the Lord. Because Lord appears in the heart of the devotee as Panchakshara. Panchakshari Panchara Ranchitapyam. Shankaracharya says, Shiva is kept inside the casket of Panchakshara. So when you chant Panchakshara, you are not chanting any mantra, you are chanting Shiva. That 5 letter is Shiva. That Panchakshara is Shiva. It has no meaning. Don't seek meaning for that. If you seek meaning, it means Nama means prostrate. I prostrate. Shivaya means to Shiva. In Shaivite tradition, they say there is no meaning for Namah Shivaya. That is 5-lettered word, Shiva in 5-letter form. To prove that, you know what they will do? They will do Namah Shivaya, Shivaya Namaha, Ya, Va, Shi, Ma, Na, Va, Ya, Shi, Va. They will change the position. What is indicated is, even if the meaning is not there, it is Shiva. That each letter is spiritual tablet. It is Shiva experience. So when you have Panchakshara in your heart, you have Shiva in your heart. Manikawaka says, Shiva entered me and I forgot the world. Everything became bitter to me. Everything worldly became insipid to me. And how did he enter? He says he entered as Panchakshara. Naneyo tavam shaiten. I did not do any tapas. Shivaya namavena petrain. He says, Lord entered my heart as Shivaya nama. As this Panchakshara. And he was just so sweet. How sweet, if you ask, he could not express. You know, he gives some imaginary expressions. He says, you take very hot, just you have taken milk from the udder of the cow, fresh milk, that heat is there. In that milk, you pour sugarcane juice and then little honey. If you put it, I don't know whether it will be tasty. But he is trying to give you expression of that inner joy. He says, Karanda pal kannalodu nei kalandar pola. Put some ghee. Karanda pal kannalodu nei kalandar pola. Shiranda adiyar chindanayul thenuri nindru. Just so much of joy is being experienced. So trying to give some simile which is meaningless. That is why these devotional works, if you translate to another language, it is useless. Because translation will not give you any meaning. Translation is useless there. Because even in that language there is no meaning. Even in Tamil, no meaning. It is simply joyfully, some intoxicated people, they will say something, you know, like that. In that intoxication, something comes out of the mouth, like that he was saying. So that kind of Sivanubhava, he sang. That Jatadhari wrote everything. By singing, he entered Samadhi. And when he opened his eyes, that old man was no more there. He said, oh, he could have got bored. So he must have went away. So next day morning, these 3,000 Brahmins who are in charge of Chidambaram temple, when they went to see Nataraja, in that Panchakshara Padi, Panchakshara Sopana, that steps, there they saw this Grantha. There it is written, Manikawaka wrote, and I myself, Manikawaka sang, and I myself wrote. It's Tiruchitrambalam, is Lord's signature. They were shocked. Who is this Manikawaka? Where to find him? Unless he comes and gives the meaning of this book, it is impossible to release it, publish it. So we have to find him out. Then this Jatadhari appeared there and said, I know Manikawaka. He is very near in a place, in a jungle, he is staying there, I will take you. And all these Brahmins were taken to that spot. Manikawaka was sitting there. When he saw suddenly 3,000 Brahmins are coming, he stood up and prostrated to them. They said, "You have written this book?" "No, I did not write, I only sang. But this is kept in the Panchakshara Sopana." Then Manikawaka understood what has happened. You have to give meaning of this book. What you have sung, the meaning should be given in the form of a discourse. Please give the Vyakhyana, commentary of this work. He looked in that crowd. In the midst of that crowd, he saw this Jadadhari. He smiled, took the book in his hand and said, "The meaning of this book is there. He is the meaning of this book," said. Then they looked back. They found that it is none other than Lord himself, Nataraja himself, who has come with them. And they said, "Lord, who is this person? You have yourself written this book, then who is Manikawaka?" And you know what Nataraja said? Shiva said, "He is me. I am him." And the story goes, both of them disappeared. "Nane avan," he said. "Tvamevaham, tvamevaham, tvamevaham na samshaya." So Manikawaka in his Tiruvachaka says, Shiva made me Shiva. Chittamalam arivittu Shivamakki enayanda attanyana karuliyavar yar peruvarachove. It's very beautifully expresses who will get such a blessing. Blessed I am, really I am blessed. Vidyaranya Swami in his Panchadashi says, what is the fruit of Vedanta Jnana? Dhanyoham, dhanyoham, kritakrityoham, praptavyam, praptam, kartavyam, kirtam, dhanyoham, dhanyoham. That kind of blessed feeling arose from the heart. And he says, I am like a dog, street dog, but I have been made to sit in the throne. Nai shibigai etvit, that is the Tamil word. It's a street dog is being made to sit in the throne. Like that, without considering my weakness, Lord gave me the experience of Shiva. That Sivanubhavam is being bestowed to me, and I have myself become Shivam. Chittamalam arivittu Shivamakki enayanda attanyana karuliyavar yar peruvarachove. So who will get this? See, that kind of dance arises in the heart. When you get a Sadguru who is aflame with that spiritual experience, you no more seek anything. Inside, in your heart comes an inundation, a joy, a lahari. That Shivananda lahari comes because you have already seen the truth in solid form. And you know what it is. And how did you recognize? That very thing in your heart made you recognize it. So that recognition gives you that joy, that purnatva. So that is Dakshinamurti Tattvam. Dakshinamurti means, yesterday we said, Dakshina means south side facing death. Dakshina also means compassion. Dakshina means Rudrayatte Dakshinam Mukham. Shweta Ashwatara Upanishad says, "O Lord, look at me with your Dakshina Mukha, not Vama Mukha." The Dakshina Mukha is full of compassion. Another face is there which is terrifying, terrible face. If he looks at you with that face, you will be afraid. And that face has anger. That is why Sri Rudra, very first namaskara is for Lord's anger. Namaste Rudra Manyava Utota Ishave Namaha. So, Lord, that Dakshinamurti means compassionate form of Shiva. And what is greatest compassion? That greatest compassion is to give Advaita Jnana. In Bhagavatam, Uddhava tells Krishna, Lord, please take me also with you. Don't leave me here. I know you are going to leave. Before going back to Vaikuntha, take me. I don't want to live in this world without your presence. Krishna said, Uddhava, where am I going? I am always here. I cannot take you anywhere. I will give you the greatest blessing. And you know, that boon which I will give only to my favorite people, I will give you that boon. Lord, what is that boon? Bhagavan said, it is sannyasa. Making you renounce everything, making you a pauper, making you yasya anugraham ichchami tasya vittam haramyaham. If I want to bless somebody, I take away their wealth, I remove their ego, I remove everything from them. Then only in that nakedness, spiritual nakedness, I give them that grace. So Uddhava, you are dear to me, you are my beloved. Tvam tu sarvam parityajya sneham swajana bandhushu mayaveshya manassamyak samadrik vicharasvagam. You give up everything and keep your mind in me and roam about in the world in that Atmanubhava. There will be no trouble from the world because you don't see the world, you see only the Atman. Everywhere you see only Atman Jnana Vijnana Triptatma. You are completely abiding in the self, and through the senses also when you see the world, Ahameva Namattonya Didi Buddhyadvamanjasa. Whatever you see is only me, nothing else. In Tiruvannamalai there was a yogi, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. In his ashram they have written very beautiful words. Swami's Upadesha. One Upadesha is, if you want only God, why do you accept the existence of anything else? It's a beautiful words. He says, if you want only God, why do you accept that anything else exists? Nothing else exists. Only God exists. Atman alone is. Abide and go. So this is the teaching that Bhagavan gives to Uddhava because he is beloved of Bhagavan, and that is Dakshinya. That is Karunya. And embodiment of that Karunya is Guru. In Shankaracharya, in his Prabodha Praudhanubhuti, it's a small grantha. There the Guru is telling the disciple that highest teaching is given. He says, Sattachit sukharupamasti satatam naham nachatvam risham nedam vapi jagat pradrishtam akhilam nastiti janihi bhoho. That first portion of the teaching is, my dear one, Sattachit sukharupamasti satatam. Always there is only Brahman, that truth, which is existence, awareness and bliss. Naham, I do not exist, you do not exist, nor this world exists, only that pure awareness is there. Nastiti janihibo, know this truth very well. And why do you tell me this? If you ask that, the Guru tells, Yat proktam karuna vashatvai maya. Some karuna, some compassion is compelling me to tell you this, forcing me to reveal you this truth. Otherwise I could have kept silence. So that is compelling me, forcing me to tell you this. Yat proktam karuna vashatvai maya tat satyame tat sputam Shraddhatsvanagha Shuddha buddhirasi chet matrastute samshayaha. O sinless one, with Shraddha, with Bhakti, you receive whatever I am giving you. Do not doubt this most precious truth. This is the greatest treasure. Take this, absorb this truth and be free. So that is Dakshinya. And Dakshinamurti is the embodiment of that experience. So the Dakshinamurti Tattva, Shankaracharya begins with what is seen, that is this world, from the seen to the seer. The seen is the world, as we said yesterday, Vishwam. First verse, Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nijantargatam pashyan atmani mayaya bahirivodbhutam yatha nidrayam yat sakshat kurute prabodha samaye swatmanamevadvayam tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye namayidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. First verse, just it begins with Vishwam. Vedanta Prakriya is Tatastha Lakshana. You see the world, from that you go to the truth, which is unseen. World is seen before us, Vishwam. It is not simply sitting outside, it is eating away our attention. We have only one wealth, that is Shraddha. Yadrishi Shraddha Siddhir Bhavati Tadrishi. When Shraddha is lost in the world, you do not have Shraddha for spiritual life. Because world is not simply earth or planets. It is infinite. You can never find out what it is. Whatever we have seen is only very limited. So, for Vedanta, world means Raga, Dvesha, Kartritva, Bhoktritva, Rupam, Jagat. That is all. Anything that makes me think is world. And usually when I have attachment to somebody, I will think about them. When I have aversion to someone, I will think about them. Ragadvesha is the chief cause. And about me also I think, because I have kartritva, doership, bhoktritva, enjoyership. So thought arises. If these four are not there, vritti will not be there. Vritti arises because attachment is there, aversion is there. That is why Bhagavan in Gita said, Ragadvesha vyuktaistu vishayan indriyaisharan atmavasher vidheyatma prasadam-adhigacchate. Without attachment and aversion, if you can live in the world and experience your prarabdha, you can remain peaceful, very pleasant, prasanna. That is the difficulty, because this ragadvesha arises from avidya, from ajnana. So unless the avidya is removed, it will not go. So this ragadvesha is world, and whatever we see as Vishwam is world. Lokaha is the another name. Lokyate, alokyate iti lokaha. Loka means that which is seen. If you do not see, there is no loka. Shabdadi rupam bhuvanam samastam Shabdadi satyendriya vrittibhasya Satendriyanam manaso vashesyat Manomayam tad bhuvanam vadama. This is a darshana shloka. All the five senses collectively is giving us a picture. You see something, you hear something, you smell something, you taste something, you touch something. And all this data goes inside. and you think about it, dream about it. Without the senses also, the mind has these 5 operations: seeing, touching, smelling. Everything is there. So all these things, these outer senses are not important. Mind itself is the only indriya. Manashashthani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. But actually, mind is the indriya which works through all the 5 senses. And if you inquire what is this mind, it is a mysterious Atma Shakti. It somewhere arises from the self, disappears in the self. If you inquire, it is not there. Otherwise, we could do some operation and remove it. It is giving so much trouble. It is Atma Shakti. In a way, you can say it is the dynamic power of the Atman. Devi, Divine Mother, her first form is mind. In Saundari Lahari, Shankaracharya says, "O Divine Mother, you first manifest as the mind." When somebody told Ramana Maharshi that mind is giving so much trouble, he was a Vaishnava. So he said, "Mind is giving me so much trouble, Bhagavan." And Bhagavan asked him, "According to your Vaishnavite tradition, you say Vyuha Tattva, Vyuha. So what is the position of this mind according to Vaishnavite Vyuha?" And he said, mind is Divine Mother, Lakshmi. Atma is Vishnu and mind is Lakshmi, he said. Then where is the problem? Bhagavan said, if it is Divine Mother, if you recognize it as Divine Mother, problem is over. When you see it as something devilish, something which is there to give you trouble, then only the problem arises. So recognize it as the manifested form of the self. Then Dvaita goes. In Saundari Lahari, that sloka is Manastvam Vyomatvam Marudasi Marutsaratirasi Tvamapastvam Bhumihi Tvayi Parinatayam Nahi Param Tvameva Swatmanam Parinamayitum Vishwavapusha Chidananda Akaram Shivayuvati Bhavena Bhibirshe. This Devi is giving good dress, very charming suits to the Atman, Shiva. Jnaneshwara, in his Amritanubhava, he gives beautiful simile. He says, some visitors have come to the house. And the lady of that house looks at her husband. He is just coming out of the bathroom almost naked. So she rushes inside, brings good cloth and puts on him. He gives this simile. And he says, this is how Maya, the divine Shakti, Brahma Shakti, gives this dress of world to Shiva. Otherwise, he is Nagna, Digambara. Chidambara is always Digambara. He is pure Chit. I will give you, narrate one very humorous anecdote. Some Shiva Bhaktas and Shaktas had a debate in front of Ramana Maharshi. And this Shakta, they said, without Shakti there is no Shiva. And for that, he said, without she, there is no he. There was a debate. And you know what he said? She contains he. In English, if you put SH he, she contains he. Shiva is included in Shakti. That is true also, because when you see the world, Prakriti, inside the Chit is available. But when in the Nirvikalpa state, only Chit is there, no Prakriti. So that is true. So he says, she contains he. And then this Shiva Bhakta, he turned to Maharshi and said, Bhagavan, see, they say she contains he. How should I reply? Bhagavan smiled and said, that is true. She contains he, but he stands alone. She cannot stand without he. It has to carry he in its heart. The he must be there. It gives the presence, existence to it. Because existence comes from he. So she cannot stand without he. So that Shiva Tattva, it is not about man or woman, it is that existence and everything else. So this world, this mind is nothing but a manifested form of the Atma Vastu. That is the ultimate thing a sadhaka has to recognize. Before that, he tries to control the mind, keep it in control, it will again run back. This constant fight is there. Ultimately, he recognizes in that nirvikalpa state there is no mind, pure chit alone is there, pure awareness alone is there, but when he wakes up, again the mind comes. Then the Guru Upadesha comes, Salila eko drashta advaito bhavati. Whether the water is still or the waves are formed, iceberg is there, bubble is there, foam is there, whatever may happen in the water, it is water only. So too, whether the mind is still or it is moving about, only Atmaiva idam sarvam. Idam sarvam edayam Atma. Tadejati, tannaijati. The Shruti says, it moves not. When it moves not, then also it is Atman. When it moves, then also it is Atman. When you see it with forms, then also it is Atman. When it is formless as pure awareness, then also it is Atman. Then comes Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnameva avasishyate. In that state, the seeker becomes Sahaja Nishtha. That Sahaja Nishtha. No more contradiction between Samadhi and Vyuthana. So till then, this fight will be there, conflict will be there, Dvaita will be there. This Dvaita Drishti will give trouble. Anything, the second one will always give trouble. Tato anyatha kinchana yadvivakshataha prithak drishaha tatkrita rupanamabhihi na kutrachit kvapija dusthita labheta vatahata vaspadam. This is the Diksha Shloka of Bhagavata. Narada tells Vyasa, if you intend to convey that something else other than God exists, even that intention can create a turmoil. You need not even say, vivaksha, you have within you and you speak. If you just give the idea that anything other than God exists, people will go and catch hold of it. And once that Dvaita Drishti comes, names and forms arise, thoughts arise, attachment and aversion arise, and constant tussle will be there. No more quietude, no more release, no more havu. See, in the Upanishad, Samagana is there. Sama means peace. Sama itself means peace. So Samagana, etat samagayan naste. The Shruti says that Samavedi, he starts singing. Ha, voha, voha, vo. Even we will sing only that, right? Not only Samavedis. When we become tired and get comfortably inside a room, we say ha. Always that Samagana will come. It naturally arises from the heart. So, here in the Upanishad says, when does the seeker sing Sama? Not till he has removed matter. He has swallowed matter. No more existence for Anna. Ahamannam, ahamannam, ahamannam. Ahamannado, ahamannado, ahamannada. I am Annam and I am the enjoyer, I am the enjoyed. There is no more duality, there is nothing to fight, none other than me exists. Duri bhuta anya darshanaha, says Bhagavatam. His anya darshana is gone, the other is gone, Dvaita drishti is gone. Then he reposes in the self, an ineffable release, completely released, relaxed. Then only comes that release, that complete relaxation. Appa, how? There, because no more fight, no more work, nothing to achieve, nothing to become, na utpadyam, na apyam, na vikaryam, na samskaryam, na kartrubhoktru rupam va, says Shankaracharya. Nothing to attain, nothing to achieve, nothing to become. No more this haribari. That Shanti comes. Real Brahma Shanti comes. That Brahma Shanti, that is what Tapovan Maharaj says. He was doing Manana, Upanishad Manana, in our place in Kerala. So, he was a brahmachari at that time. He was having this doubt, what should be our subject for Nididhyasana? At that position only, he went to Tiruvannamalai and met Bhagavan. He did not speak to Maharshi. He only saw Maharshi sitting there in Virupaksha cave. He also sat there for some few hours. And when coming down, he says, I came down by deciding that Shanti is Brahman, Shanti is Jnana, Shanti is Mukti, Shanti is the thing that we should contemplate upon. Nididhyasana must be done on that absolute, unadulterated peace that arises from within. Shanti, Shanti, Brahma Shanti sa agat, iti nishchitya. With that nishaya he came down, he says. So, this is satsanga. See, this you cannot get anywhere else. We will be studying books, but when we go to a Mahapurusha, you see the embodiment, manifested form of Upanishad there, manifested form of Brahmavidya there, and it comes and forcefully enters you. Akramya atmani avasthitam. It just forcefully enters into you and gives clarity. So that happened. So that is it. So this Shravana, from Drishya, the Chitta is taken to that Drik, and there Drik Drishya Bheda is removed. This is the process. And in the beginning, Dakshinamurti Stotra, first shloka, we are not going to take all the shlokas. The first shloka is, we said, this world, Vishwam, this universe is similar to the vision of a reflected city in a mirror. Nagari means city. It's a reflection that you are seeing, not the original one. Whatever you are seeing outside is a reflected city. The entire vision happens in the self, Atmani. But I see as if it is outside. Bahiriva udbhutam. Oh, that is like the dream. In dream also you see as if it is outside. If I am dreaming this lecture, I will see that you are all outside me and my thoughts are inside. But actually I am seeing both. I am seeing me speak, I am seeing all of you sitting in front and listening. This chair, this mic, this table, this book, this space, time, light, everything is there inside me. No other samagri. The only samagri that I have is myself. The only fundamental basic stuff that I have is my own existence. In that existence, I see everything. Atmani. So this Jagat appears in the Atman. People think Atman is inside the body. But actually, the body and the world, everything is only an appearance in the Atman. It is just like a movie seen in a screen. If you go and touch the screen, you will not touch the actor or the actress or the objects that are seen. You touch only the screen. Like that, whatever you see in the world, whatever are shown by the senses, revealed by the senses, whatever arises within in the mind, this ego, everything is only an appearance in the Atman, and you have the illusion that it is not the Atman by the power of Maya. As the spell of dream breaks, when one wakes up from sleep, when you wake up from the dream, misapprehension ends for the knower, and he realizes that one non-dual self alone remains. Yas sakshat kurude prabodha samaye swatmanameva advayam tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. To him, the divine teacher, Shri Dakshinamurti, who alone bestows this knowledge, I prostrate. I worship that Dakshinamurti. The entire creation is there within, in the inner being. It's mere reflection that you behold as universe. Like an inhabited land reflected in a mirror, the mystic power Maya is active and it projects the world. As if outside the sensory boundary, as in a dream. When by the grace of the Lord, one awakens from this spell, the realization dawns that one whole self alone is. The Lord Dakshinamurti, whose very form is grace, is our sole refuge for the liberating knowledge of the self. So the end of this Dakshinamurti Stotra is Sarvatmatva Mahavibhuti. That is how it comes to conclusion. So a seeker, what does he attain? He attains Sarvatmatva Mahavibhuti. I am everything. In me everything arises, remains and subsides. So, it's question of ending the dream. When somebody came with their worldly problem to Ramana Bhagavan, a villager, and he was telling Swami, I have such and such problem, please show your grace, bless me. Maharshi remained quiet. After hearing everything, from his own state he said, where is the problem? If you know the self, there is no problem. If you know what is your real nature, you will see that all problems disappear like dream. We don't know whether that person understood or not. He remained there, sat there for a few minutes in quietude and went away. See, Bhagavan even taught monkeys this Brahmavidya. Once, near a temple, Pachayaman Kovil in Thiruvannamalai, there was a mango orchard. In that garden, one Muslim had that garden for lease. So, he appointed a servant to drive away monkeys. As we see monkeys here, there are also many monkeys in Thiruvannamalai. So many monkeys. So, they will come to take mangoes. So, this person with one, what will you call that? Kavane? With that, he will throw stones at the monkeys. And one monkey got hit by that and died. On the spot it fell dead. And all other monkeys were sitting there weeping. You can see very beautiful family setup they have. Very friendly. So they were all sitting like relatives and weeping, and they were all very close with Maharshi also. So when Bhagavan went there, they were giving all their complaints to him. What happened to this monkey? And Bhagavan was sitting amidst them and he was speaking to them, don't weep, only the body dies. Only the body dies. The self is ajo nitya shashwataha, it is deathless. The self can never die, only the body perish. If you know the self, it is deathless. You will have no problem, no sorrow, no grief. One person, a Gujarati man, was listening to this. He said, Bhagavan, this is really humorous. It's very difficult even for us to understand. You are teaching monkeys. Bhagavan looked at him and said, what is the problem? You also don't understand, they also don't understand. Sometimes somebody within you, they understand. Like that, sometimes someone within them also will understand. See, the logic says, it is not a question of your self-will. It is not a question of your own power. If it is your power, all these intelligent people who are academically very powerful, they should get Brahmavidya. So it is not happening. We have done enough research by this 1 century at least. After Vivekananda, so many English books have come, whole world has known what is Vedanta. So that has not created innumerable Jivan Muktas. The story is same. And whoever is destined to get only gets, whoever is ripe only gets, who is ready to receive only receives. So here Maharshi said, you also don't understand, and the monkeys also may fail to understand, but as someone within you understands, like that some of the monkeys also will understand. It is not the brain. Buddhiyala purinjukardudam purinjukardo oi. He asked, do you have that arrogance to think that intellectually only you should understand? Even he asked to Muruganar this, because once two small children, Lalita and Indra, they were the children of one professor, G.V. Subramaya. Bhagavan used to teach them Upadeshasaram. And very difficult verses, also he made them by heart, and they picked 3 words from Upadeshasaram. This girl, Indra or Lalita, I don't remember, one of them, the small one, she came with 3 words, Deho Naham, Koham, Soham. Bhagavan liked that, he made her repeat it, by heart it, and said, don't forget it. Always repeat this. Deham Naham means, Bhagavan will take his walking stick, and he will say, this walking stick is not me. Like that, your frock is not you, your hand is not you, your body is not you, then who are you? Koham. And if you ask, you will come to know that you are the self. Like that. Then Muruganar, one of the saintly souls, later on he said, with so much audacity was there inside me to ask Bhagavan that question. Because he asked, Bhagavan, it is difficult even for intellectual giants to understand some of the verses. Will these children understand? Then Bhagavan asked, Buddhiyala purinjukardudam purinjukardo. Through intellect alone, do you think through intellect alone you can understand? Intellect is only a spark. Self is the ocean of intelligence. And only a bubble appears as the brain. Deep down, there is the ocean which will pick up, which will absorb the teaching. So that is the thing. So the story has a beautiful end. After school vacation, these children were going back, and Maharshi was going up the hill. This G.V. Subramaya took his children to do namaskar. They did namaskar to Maharshi. Bhagavan said, I am going to my home, you go to your house, tell me that sloka, and that child repeated, Deho naham koham soham. Don't forget, he said. And with his walking stick, he gave a small touch to that child and sent them back. Within 3 months, that child dropped its body. Nobody even had a vague idea about this. But Bhagavan was passing over this teaching, and with that teaching in its lips, even while during death, that child was repeating this. Deho naham koham soham. So they kept samadhi to that child and wrote it there as Deho naham koham soham. That was its prarabdha is over. That's all. So, this is Ishvara's field of anugraha. This is Ishvara's anugraha field. So here, when I am coming back to the other first anecdote where Bhagavan was teaching that you are the self, if you know that you are the self, no more sorrow for you. And he spoke this to a villager. And that villager went away. Kavyakantha Ganapati Muni was there, a great scholar, a mighty yogi. He said, Bhagavan, you are giving this Brahmavidya to ordinary village people? If they have come to me, I would have given them some mantra, some nama to chant, something. Will they understand this Brahmavidya? Bhagavan said, first you know what remark he made. He said, Yanaki idudan theriyuvai. First thing that he said is, I know only this. Whatever others know, they can teach. I only know this. After that, he said, casually he said, two people are there in a room. One person is asleep and he is dreaming that he has a big treasure house and a thief has entered there. He is breaking the boxes, stealing the treasure, and he is screaming in sleep, catch the thief, catch the thief. What will the person, other person who is awake, what will he do? Will he run for the thief? He asked. No, he will wake him up. Yes, that is it, he said. Bhagavan said, that is it. In dream, this jiva is seeing anadi mayaya suptaha. Yada jiva prabudhyate. Ajamanidram aswapnam advaitam buddhyate tada. You are dreaming. So many things you are dreaming. The master only wakes you up. The moment you wake up, you know there is no I, there is no world. Only that Sadvastu is there. That Chinmatra Vastu is there. That Brahma Vastu is there. So Prabodha Samaye Swatmanameva Advayam Sakshat Kurute. Realizes, wakes up to the truth that Advayam Brahma, that non-dual Brahman alone is. Nothing else exists. In the Atman, I have seen all this world. Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam. This one first word, very important. Whatever we see is reflection. Whomever we see outside, there is a corresponding being inside. In another way, Anta Sukshma Swarupena Karanatma Grihe Sthitaha Padarthaha Sthula Rupena Nirgachanti Bahiswayam. Whatever is there in seed form inside appears outside in various forms. So if you take this as a yoga sadhana, this reflection theory, when you look at a mirror, you don't comb the mirror, you comb here. You don't do shaving to the mirror, you shave only your face. Like that in your family or wherever you are, there are persons around you. Sometimes we will ask why that person is here. He is giving me so much trouble. Another person comes, I am attached to him so much. All these names and forms, as long as they have no impact in you, they are not Vishwam. The moment they enter inside you as attachment and aversion, world is formed. So, how to remove them? How to remove the world? World as tree, as mountain, as river, no problem. The moment you think this river is mine, this mountain is mine, this tree is mine, this person is mine, I have to clear everything, remove everything, trouble begins. No more peace. You are no more able to enjoy the river. You are no more able to enjoy the person, see the person, because attachment or aversion has arisen. Remove that attachment from within, aversion from within, the outer person will disappear. This has happened many times when someone is there in your house who is giving you so much trouble in office. You react because you have the idea that that person is outside. But this tattva says he is only a reflection of something that is within you. If the corresponding thing is not inside you, no outer object can give you either pleasure or pain. Pleasure also is like that. If the pleasurable object is outside, you have that vasana inside, then only you have pleasure, otherwise not. So, if that inner bimba is removed, pradibimba will go. Pradibimba is useless. So that Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari has so much power to sadhana, vichara sadhana. When you say world means only your own avidya, ajnana. Because of that, you think there is something outside which gives trouble. Remove it from within. Remove family from inside. Outer family will not give trouble. And somebody asked Maharshi, I am planning to give up my family and take sannyas. Bhagavan said, what trouble did they give you? No, Bhagavan, I want to do dhyana. So I plan to give up family and go to Rishikesh or some other place. You know, what Bhagavan said, see what I did. I gave up my family and came here, and all this big family has come around me. He said, so this outer giving up won't do. Now you think you are a family man. If you give up and take to sannyas, you will think you are a sannyasi. In both places, you think you are the body. Instead of that, find out who you are and know the self. Wherever you are, find out what is your real nature and be free. When Bhagavan said this to another person, that person asked, Bhagavan, then why did you give up your family and came to Tiruvannamalai? You know, Bhagavan gave another reply. He said, I did not ask anybody. He said, I did not ask whether I should give up and go. You are asking, that is why I am replying to you. You are asking whether I should give up, I should go. That happened to me. If that force has pulled you, you would not ask. As it is not your destiny, why should you think about it? So, there he said, outer world is not the world. World is inside you. Wherever you are carrying the world. Wherever you go with the same mind. So first, know who is the seer. Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam. This has two implications. One thing is it is a reflection. The second thing is it is the reflection, so don't give much importance to it. If the seeker is so much enamored, so much illusioned, hallucinated by the world, he will not find sufficient energy to go within. That's why this Jagan Mithya is said. Jagan Mithya is a medicine. Unless you take that herb, you will not be able to go to Brahma Satyam. Because this Jagat will be always there. All the avatars have come. They all have tried their best. Still it is same. Swami Vivekananda said somewhere, it is like the dog's tail. You try to straighten it, again it will go back to its former position. You leave it, others will do it. You walk. The greatest knowledge that you will get is, it will not become straight. You leave it, people who come behind you, they will do the same thing. The purpose for which you have come is to realize the self. The greatest message that this world can give you is Tattvamasi. Go within and find out who you are. Don't bother about the things around. Because they will be always there. Their only purpose is to make you think, make you forget the self. Because when you think, you forget. Because any thought is about the non-self. Anatma vastu. About Atman, you need no thought. When thought turns towards the Atman, you cannot call it as thought. That Vritti-jnana is no more a thought. When it is some ghada or pata, it is a thought. It is some name or some form to hold. Atmakara tatha bhutva na prithak pratitishthati. When the mind moves towards one's own existence, it abides there. So, Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam, it is just like a city seen in a mirror. You are seeing this world outside. Nijantargatam Pashyan Atmani Mayaya Bahirivodbhutam. One of the most explosion like statement. Because what is within is seen outside. See, Ramana Bhagavan has given another example. In villages, in our childhood, we have seen, all of you must have seen this cinema projector. They will put the reel, and from a distance a light will pass through the film, and through the lens it will be projected and seen in the screen. Whole night some cinema will go. In our villages we have seen some old film will come. Whole night it will go. So this light will pass through the film and appear in the screen. Like that, Bhagavan in his Arunachala Ashtakam he says, from inside this Chit Jyoti is there. It comes through the mind, carries all the vasanas and gets projected through all these 5 senses and appears as the world. If the film is removed, only light will be there. No more name and form. Like that, when the ajnana is removed, through all the senses, you behold only that oneness, that Chit Jyoti. Through all the senses, you see only that Atma Vastu, nothing else. I have translated one of Thayumanava's songs. This Bhagavan's Arunachala Ashtakam also is there. Thou art thyself, ever aware as the self-luminous heart. In thee is a mysterious power, inseparable from thee, whence proceeds the phantom of the mind, emitting its latent tendencies as subtle dark mist. Illumined by the light of Chit, appears within as thoughts, whirling in the orbits of Prarabdha, as seeds of psychic worlds. Later, projected through the senses as the world. Bhagavan says, all these inner thoughts which move about in the inner orbit are psychic world. See, psychic world is not something outside. It is there inside. This moves in thee like a picture of shadows, O Arunachala. the hill of grace, thou alone exists. This is the statement. Ultimately he says, you alone are the truth. Ekameva advitiyam neha nanasti kinchana. The purpose is not to say that there is a Vishwam, there is a reflection, there is a mirror. No, this is not the purpose. The purpose is to make you convinced that one alone is. Whatever is beheld through the senses or thought through the mind is nothing but the Atman. Nothing else exists. There is nothing, there is no second thing. The moment you recognize that, the dream comes to an end. Yes, sakshat kurute prabodha samaye. This prabodha is Atma Jnana. There is no other waking up. You listen to the Guru, you do reflection and nididhyasana, and clear jnana, samyak jnana comes, and that is prabodha. All the Vedas, they say, wake up, no more sleep, attain that prabodha. Uttishtata maswaptaha agnimichadvam bharataha. Veda says, uttishtata, wake up, maswaptaha, no more sleep, agnimichadvam. Agni is this jnana. This Atma Jnana is Agni. Wish for that Jnanagni. Uttishtata, Jagrata, Prapyavara, Nibodhata, Churasya Dhara, Nishita, Duratya, Durgam Pathastat Kavayo Vadanti. Wake up, be alert, do not fall back to this ignorance, seek this knowledge, absorb, abide in that state and be free. So that is the thing here says, yes, sakshat kurute prabodha samaye. When he wakes up from this ignorance, the greatest illusion that I exist as a separate identity goes. Every day, in deep sleep, just as when you blow out a flame, the flame goes, like that, in the dreamless sleep, sushupti, this I is blown out. That's a great revelation. Every day our inner being is giving us Mahavakya Jnana, but we fail to recognize. Aharahar gachanti na viduhu. Every day you enter their state and comes back without that knowledge. But when the teacher gives you the teaching, you know and then you enter. So that is it. So every day you enter into that state, sushupti ka siddha. In that deep sleep, there is no body, no mind, and the ego just goes out like a flame. When the wind comes, the flame goes like that. You try to sleep, and the I is not. I thought is not. Ego sense is not. But do you cease to exist? Is the greatest question. Do you cease to exist? Those who identify with the personal I, they will say, I was not there. Then usually we will ask, then were you dead? No. Then what is it? What is it that is there? Something is there. Is it not you? Is it not the real you? You were identifying with some fiction. You were identifying with something which is not real. It comes in the waking state, it appears in the dream state, and just goes away in the deep sleep. But when it is not, when the I is not, then also you are there. When the I arises, it projects all dreams, then also that adhisthana is same. Whatever may appear in the waking or dream, swapne jagrativa yayesha purusho maya paribhramitaha. In the dream state and waking state, Maya, that power of Atman, projects many things. As you are looking at the projection, you are not aware of the adhisthana, the screen in which it appears. But in deep sleep, that screen remains as it is. When you wake up, you have a vague recollection. You say, there is happiness. That happiness is not like seeing a movie. That happiness is not like eating a sweet. That happiness is not like listening to music. That happiness is not like smelling a fragrant flower. That happiness is not like touching somebody whom you love. That happiness is not made of the five senses. All these pleasures which you get through five senses, if you experience continuously, you will get bored. You experience every day, you get bored. There is no object in the world which is not boring, which will not become insipid, tasteless. Everything you continuously experience, you will get bored. But there is something, this experience of deep sleep, you are having right from your birth. Nobody says, all these years I have been sleeping. No more sleep. Why? Why don't you get bored with sleeping? Is it not enough that you have slept? What is happening there? Then the question will naturally arise, is sleep realization? No. Chandrasekhara Bharati Swami, in his Vivekachudamani commentary, says, by sleeping you will not realize, but by contemplating on that state you will realize. By sleeping no one can realize, but anything is like that. By dying you will not realize, but by contemplating on death you will realize. Ramana Maharshi did not realize by death experience. He realized by Atma Vichara. That is why he never said, lie down, close your eyes, think that you are dead. That will not give realization. He never recommended that. He said, inquire what is there within you as I. So clear, so simple, finished. And when you inquire the I, in the waking state you find that it disappears, just like deep sleep. That is the profundity of that inquiry. Because otherwise you will never touch what is that deep sleep. So when you inquire, what is this I? Where from it arises? Consciously you trace that I thought to its source. It just goes back to the same Sushira. That Sushira, from where even Veda says, the Purusha Sukta, it is there. There is a Sushira in the heart. From that Sushira, everything comes out. And to that Sushira, everything goes back. Everything disappears there. And the last thing to disappear is this feeling of I. This feeling of I. And in deep sleep you experience it, that everything disappears and mere sadvastu, sadanubhava is there, existence is there. And suddenly in the waking, when you wake up, this I thought arise, the mind blossoms, half blooming mind is dreaming. When fully bloomed, you come back to waking state. You don't need any book if you look at it. Look at this experience. It's Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. And the Sushupti is a naked state. You give up all the vestures. Body is not there, mind is not there, ego is not there. God is not there. Etra Vedaha Avedaha Bhavanti. Na Shastram, na Shasta, na Shishyo, na Shiksha. na chatvam, na chaham, na chayam prapanchaha, na mata, pitava, na deva, na loka, na veda, na yajna, na tirtham bruvanti, sushuptau. Is it shunya? Nirastadi shunyatmakatvat, tadeko vasishta shivah kevaloham. It is not shunya. Who do you every day experience shunya? Because shunya cannot be experienced. Experience is there, it is not shunya. When you wake up, there is perfect joy. But a joy which cannot be compared with anything in the world. That is the problem. That is why everybody denies there is joy in deep sleep. For ordinary people, when you inquire, the first thing that will say, there is no joy there. Because joy means something sensory, something which comes through the sense, which tickles you. It must be there. But nothing is there, nothing is happening there. That is what Indra also told in Chandogya Upanishad. He says, Na tatra bhogyam pashyami. He said, I don't see any enjoyment there. That is where Shankaracharya said to Indra, the Guru said, you remain 5 more years because not much problem. You have already seen deep sleep. Just an ignorance remains that you think that you can have the greatest blessing only by keeping the eye alive. You have wrongly identified with this personal sense as you, and this is not beneficial to you. This is not hitam. Hitam priyam indraya na hitam. Hitam cha vaktavyam guruna. What should the Guru do? The Guru should tell only what is really good to the disciple. He should not just flatter the disciple. Simply said, you are good, wonderful. There are some Gurus, they just to be free of the disciples, they say, you are realized. Because the moment the Guru tells the disciple, you are realized, the disciple will go to America. He will no more give trouble to the Guru. So one Guru found this technique. He said, somebody asked, why do you say that he is illumined, he is realized? Because otherwise, like leech, he holds on to me. He wants only to hear that he is realized. He is not bothered about realization. He wants just a seal. So he will say, you are realized. Then he will go. Give a lecture, have disciples, create trouble. That will happen. So that is not the thing. See, you are not seeking that. Your heart should give certificate to you. In your heart you should feel up contentment, that fulfillment, that benediction must come from within. So that is it. So that every day the inner being unconsciously is hugging you, making you one with it and letting you out. When you consciously contemplate on that state, reflect on that state, then you come to know that it is something very precious. It is something very, very precious. Rahugrasta divakarendu sadrishaha maya samachchadanat sanmatrah karanopasamharanato yobhut sushuptah puman pragaswapsamiti prabodha samaye yah pratyabhignayate tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye namaidam Shri Dakshinamurti. This idea comes in the 6th verse, Rahugrasta divakarendu sadrishaha. So there, the deep sleep state, the brain, due to ignorance, is not aware of what is happening. But still, you are having Brahmanubhava there. This is a thing which is being discussed in Bhashya so much. Whether there is ignorance, whether there is avarana, whether there is ajnana and all. But ajnana is in the buddhi only. The self, no ajnana can remain. No darkness can remain in the sun. Tarana vivahani. So in the real self, there is no ignorance, there is no ajnana. It is always swayam prakasha. And that swayam prakashatva jnana comes when a deshika indicates the attention goes to that inner being In an instant you recognize that it is Swayam Prakasha Vastu and no darkness there. It is not by your effort, it is Swayam Prakasha. It is Swayam Prakasha, self-effulgent by its own glory. So once you have that recognition, you never forget it. Because that recognition is not happening in the buddhi. If it is in the buddhi, buddhi will sleep. Buddhi cannot always remain awake. It can only do two things, either think or sleep. But it happens in the very being. It happens in the existence itself. It is the vibhuti of the existence. So when it happens, that is the greatest blessing of Dakshinamurti. Ishvara, as from outside gives the teaching and from within absorbs the teaching and makes that awakening possible. From within he removes the avarana. In Bhagavata, Parikshit is asking Shugabrahma Maharshi, how is it possible to convey the nirguna atma vastu for a person who has a saguna mind? There Shukacharya says, Guru is not teaching like an academic teacher. He is just awakening the inner being to recognize it. Jaya Jaya Jahi Ajam Ajita Dosha Gribhita Gunam Tvamasi Yadatmana Samavaruddha Samasta Bhagaha Agajagadokasam Akhila Shakti Avabodhakate Kvajida Jayatmana Chacharato Nucharen Nigamaha. That Vedastuti, Shruti Gita. There, how a great Guru, a Deshika, awakens that inner Lord. It is just like pressing the calling bell. From outside you press the calling bell, somebody from within opens the door. Like that, the Master calls from within, outside, and from within the inner being removes the avarana, removes the ignorance and reveals its real nature. That is what is happening, says Shukacharya. Jaya Jaya, O Lord, Jaya Jaya for you. Jahi, remove. Ajam, that Maya. From within, remove that Aja. Ajam, dosha gribhita gunam. It contains all dosha. Guna is also dosha. Sattva, Rajas, Tamo, Guna is the dosha. Remove that from within. Dosha gribhita gunam. Tvamasi yadatmana samavaruddha samasta bhagaha. As the Atmavastu, as the Self, you are God. All the divine things are there in you. You are complete, you are whole. Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta Swabhava. You are Purna Vastu. And the Upanishad, Vedas, sometimes speak for the worldly people, sometimes for the spiritual seeker. So you cannot directly go and study Veda and take the essence. Kvajid ajaya, kvajid atmana cha charataha, anucharen nikamaha. Because worldly people are like that. Sometimes they will seek worldly things, sometimes spiritual things. So for their sake, Veda also moves this side and that side. But when you go to a real teacher, he will take the essence and only the essence he will give you. He will not cater to your needs. He will only do hitam to you, not priyam, not pleasing. He will only give that which is really wholesome, beneficial to you, that which will do you great good. Perhaps temporarily it will not be good, but ultimately that will release you. Such a thing you will get from a real Deshika. That is why we always insist upon good tradition, good parampara. And in this most sacred spot, in the presence of all the Mahatmas, Swamiji has compassionately invited me to have this Dakshinamurti satsang here, and all the Mahatmas, all the saints are here to listen, and Ganga Mata is listening, Swami Shivananda Maharaj, all those great saints who have dropped their body, but always they are there, because even while alive they had no body. Others were seeing body, but for them there was no body, because body is not the Mahatma. So dropping of the body makes no difference in their case. They are all there with their blessing in this satsang. We have reached the second day. We have just touched, because the title is Sivanubhavam, so I am not speaking like a class or anything. So just the verse, first verse we took, then Rahugrasta Divakarendu Sadrisha also I have touched. Let us see what we will take tomorrow. Some 4 or 5 verses we will explore in these 2 more days. And day after tomorrow, perhaps we can have a session in the morning. Ilya Swamiji? Hara Namah Parvati Pataye Yato Mamatma Bhavasi Tvameva Tato na Vachim Mama Kinchitasti Yathataveshtam Kurumam Tatheva Tvam Atmanatham Ramanam Bhajami Shivam Shivakaram Shantam Shivatmanam Shivottamam Shivamarga Pranetaram Pranatosmi Sada Shivam.